Welcome into the live stream for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
You're not telling the truth right off the bat. You say you're doing great.
Lying.
You're not doing great. You're exhausted.
I'm tired, but I can't really. I mean, shit. I can't complain. You know what I mean?
No.
That's what. Like, this is one of those deals where you say, like, you're even hesitant to tell people you're tired. Because they're like, oh, poor you. So I just suck it up, and I sure as hell ain't saying anything to my wife. I ain't listening.
No, that would not be advised. That would not be advisable.
Like, as I walked out the door on Thursday,
as I walked through the valley of the shadow,
that's about what I felt like I was doing.
Bet.
As I walked out the door Thursday, she hit me with, kind of convenient that when you're walking out the door, we got baseball 5 out of the next 6 nights. I was like, we see you. Just rolled on out. Rolled on out quickly before anything else was said. I just, we see you. So, no, that was good.
Yeah, she was
not happy, though.
No.
I can imagine.
That's got, be careful what you say,
Brother, pick your battles, and I was not trying to fight that one. It wasn't even an argument. I was just.
That's a message I've conveyed to Carson. Like, I always tell Carson, hey, let's talk about a couple things just so I can feel good about this in case something ever happens to me and I'm gone before I'm, am naturally gone.
Yeah.
And one was, there are fights worth having, and there are fights that are not worth having.
Correct.
And when you and learning that is that's a life skill, baby.
Dude, that's like 90% of it.
Because there's times when you go, she's wrong.
Just let it go. You just let it ride.
But you know what? This one's not.
You just gotta let it ride, boss. Gotta let it ride.
Yeah.
I'm with you, dog. I'm with you.
So. Like yesterday, I was gone all weekend too. Now, I wasn't out on a pleasure cruise the way you were, but I was gone all weekend, and I got back, and I'd promised I would help plant stuff, and I worked on the swimming pool some more, trying to get the pool presentable.
Okay.
About 90% there.
Okay.
Yeah, big progress.
Let's go.
Trying to get that done, and we got everything done. We grilled some stuff last night. Carson's girlfriend came over. She had dinner with us. Everything was good. Everything was good. And I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
I mean, this has there are different types of mistakes.
So. Yeah, this was a small one.
Okay, because you're not like
no. I just kind of got I got a comment, and the comment was like, "Oh." I walked outside. It was so nice out. Like
it
yesterday.
Was beautiful.
God, it was amazing. You're probably about the time you were getting in your car to drive. I sat outside, and the TV was on already outside. We had turned the TV on when I got back, and we were flipping. I was watching another sport that shall remain nameless. And Laura goes, "Who's winning the Masters?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And at the time, earlier, I think McElroy had been winning.
Mm-hmm.
And we flipped to it, and he was like on the 17th hole. And I was like, the Rose. I'd never heard of
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose. I think he had just hit a big shot or something.
Yeah, he birdied 18 to go up. He birdied 18.
And he was ahead of them playing.
Yes, he was up 1 and with Rory on 17 fairway.
So that happened, and we kind of kept watching it. But anyway, the TV was on, and last night after dinner and stuff, I walked outside, and I just flipped it to ESPN. It was Cubs-Dodgers. And for just a minute, I said, I'm just going to see what's going on for just a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I sat down for a minute, and I kind of lost track of time. And she comes out, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I was watching the Cubs." And she goes, "Yeah, I'm cleaning." I was like, "Oh, that is code for turn the TV off,
get your ass and come here
and help me finish cleaning." Yep. So
there's an art to decoding the message without even saying what. You just say beep beep, and it's just
because her speak was, "I'm going to say this nicely. Get your ass in here and help me finish cleaning up."
That's correct,
right? And so the inner voices
were not communicating.
They were.
It was the inner voices were two different messages.
That's it.
I like it.
All right, we'll get rolling.
Let's do it.
Welcome into episode, what do we say this is?
273.
273. Gosh, it's a big number. 273 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Monday, April the 14th. Is this the anniversary of Lincoln assassination? April 14th?
That is correct.
How about that?
That is correct.
You ever been to Ford's Theater?
I have.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid, but I've been. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Interesting. Anyway, brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
I see our guy Bob in the chat. What it is, Bob? Bob's probably as tired as I am. Bob had to get up on a flight. Real quick, well, it reminds me of Rain. So Monster had all their, had all clients and all this stuff coming in. They were entertaining them all week and all that stuff, right? So Bob was hosting all the clients, and all the Monster people were there, and they literally, they went all out. It was awesome. So much appreciated. Thank you so much for having us. But here's the crazy part. So Bob's had a long week, he's been rolling and going. Every one of those guys had to turn around and get on a flight this morning bright and early. Like, I think Bob's flight was like 5-something our time, and they got to go to Vegas for another deal. So everybody's like, oh, but like they don't get to have fun. They're actually working. So, but shout out to Bob. I'm rolling with the citrus zest today. I did have last night for the first time.
Yeah. So
left at about 9, got it. I rolled in, I think like 2:45, 3. So I lost track, but it was late. So I hit a Rain sour gummy worm last night. Cracked it open and I was like, I got to do it. To roll through after putting in 34,000 steps yesterday. And I made it. I rode. I came all the way back home, and then got about 2.5 hours sleep and cranking it up. So rolling with. I got to get this citrus zest to get zesty today.
There you go.
But the Cooper Chevrolet chat. Neal is already bumping. Remind everybody right now at Cooper Chevrolet, you can go in right now and you can check out the brand new huge savings and deals on the brand new Chevy GMC trucks, including great offers on the Chevy, Buick, GMC SUVs, and more. So make sure you give our friends at Cooper Chevrolet a call at area code 256-236-4481. That's 256-236-4481. And right now you can get up to 2.9 APR for 72 months, and you can save off of $14,000 off MSRP on the Chevrolet Silverado. All right. Appreciate my guys at Cooper Chevrolet. They're going to be with us a little bit at Dega too, so we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Also brought to you by the official RV dealer of McCready Siskey, County Line Campers, right there off Exit 38 I-10 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Spring has sprung, and so has the 2025 camping season at County Line Campers. Did you miss the RV show? It doesn't matter, because the manufacturers and finance companies have extended the spring RV show incentives through the month of April. You can save thousands with deals like the brand new East to West Mercedes Diesel Class C motorhome now for only $87,995. If you need repairs, don't worry about sending them to a big chain for your RV. If you need RV repairs, go see our guys at County Line Campers. They'll get you in, they'll get you out with the best service available. It's locally owned and operated. And don't forget, this week, very important, he wanted me to let you guys know this week, Easter week, Easter Sunday's coming up. And make sure you do all your research and do everything before you go and buy little Johnny or little Susie a bunny rabbit, because it's a big purchase, big responsibility. A lot of people, wasn't aware of this till Rob told me. A lot of people, they get little Johnny, little Susie, the rabbit for Easter, and then Easter comes and goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about that, but
they cut them loose.
Now that I've heard about it, it's like,
a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
It's a thing. So
I was out running this weekend. I went to a place I'd never been before, and it was a big path around a lake.
Yeah.
And not all of it was around the lake. It kind of ventured out and stuff. I saw a little bunny rabbit on my. I thought about your thing, because it was now this rabbit was clearly not a rabbit that had been.
It was a
This was a rabbit that
was not domesticated.
he knew how to fend for himself. But he was out there in the middle of the trail, and he saw me coming. He kind of hopped over, and I looked where he was going, and I was like,
Hoppity
hey,
hop hop.
There's stuff happening back in there.
No doubt.
Like things I don't even want to think about. Like I bet it's rough back in there. No, I didn't mean like that. I meant like life and death.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Which it is sometimes.
I mean,
it's caused wars before.
That is true.
It is true. All right, Neal. Went to the Masters.
Yeah.
Went Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. So wait a minute. You left on Thursday.
Left on Thursday
to go Friday and Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. There was some chasing of the white ball all day on Friday.
Personal chasing.
Chasing of the white ball.
Saturday and Sunday you didn't carry sticks. Friday,
yes.
Friday
I was the one hitting them.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
Saturday, Sunday.
I begin to understand a little bit more.
Now you know why. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wish you.
Yeah.
I'll see you. I'll see you Monday morning when you wake up. Yeah, I mean, like this is one of those that, like, and she knows it too. We've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
Dude, she's gonna ask me to do preposterous things for the next 2 weeks. It's like, hey,
it's fair.
Hey, you see that light bulb on the 30 feet up in the air?
Yeah.
Needs to be replaced. It's not out. Still needs to be replaced. All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
But no, we went Saturday, Sunday, and look, second time I've been. I went last year. Second time I've been. You kind of see new things as you go. Like, this is like no phones allowed. That freaks out a lot of people. I found myself on Saturday, at least, reaching for my phone a few times.
I bet.
But it wasn't like I was actually wanting to take a picture. Hey, you just got to visualize it in your mind. You got to take snapshots. You know what I mean? And
like actually make a memory as opposed
to make
a
memory. And it was like it's kind of it's truly a throwback to where you talk to people, you're all day every day, and you sit there and you're watching. And then here's the cool part: there are no, like, when you go to a normal PGA Tour event, there are video boards, okay?
Yep.
That do the scoreboard, and it's very technical. Not at Augusta.
They do the hand one.
It's all hand. Imagine Fenway Park scoreboard as a golf scoreboard. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, Wrigley Field.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Same thing, right? Yep. So, but they're back there, and so you're scoreboard watching, because you can't, like, and look, like yesterday, okay? Everybody in that planet was following Bryson and Rory. And so we actually picked them up on 7. Okay. I'll tell you my favorite spot in a minute. We were over there at 15, 16 down in the Amen's Corner, all that down there at that area. We picked them up on 7, and we watched them play 7. And then as soon as they hit into the green on 7, we hauled ass to the 8 green.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time you get there, if you have to work ahead if you want to have any chance of watching them actually up close. And so we did that the whole day with them. We caught them, we watched them there, and then your scoreboard watching, and then we went and got on our spot on 15 to see them come in, which I think is the best spot on the course. But the Sunday roars, because I was there Saturday, then I was there Sunday, it's legit. Like, you learn, like, because the property is not as big. Like, if you go to TPC Southwind for the St. Jude's,
mm-hmm.
okay, it's half that size property-wise. I mean, everything's really tight. And so when you would hear a roar, you would know exactly what happened, because you know what hole they're on. There were birdie roars or eagle. I mean, it's intensity. And then you can hear the, oh. And so, it didn't go in, or he missed the green. Like, you knew, like, you would see them hit the shot.
Because you always hear the guy yell, "Get in the hole," and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you would literally hear and knew what was going on. But the scoreboard watching was pretty cool, because the roars were so loud on the scoreboard, because the lead was going back and forth, that they were waiting. So, like, we were on 15 next to it. There's a big scoreboard on 15. And that's the par 5 in the back, and the last par 5. And if people were on the green, they were not putting the scores up until they had finished their shot or whatever, right?
So it didn't distract.
But their scoreboards across, and so you could hear them coming. Like, it'd be like people, because they were just putting them up on different greens until it got to yours. So you knew, like, oh, something's good's happening, or something's bad, whatever. And so everybody would turn and look, and you almost felt bad for, like, the players that were out of it.
Yep.
Because nobody gave a shit. They were just, hey, good shot, good shot. But no, it was great. It was awesome. The Sunday Roars definitely hit different. The other thing that's pretty cool by no phones is the amount of celebrities and really famous people walking around amongst you, just like normal people. And they're actually very nice and very talkative.
They're not having to worry about selfies.
They're not having to worry about selfies.
Yep.
Or somebody videoing them.
Right.
And so
they actually get to be human.
They are a human, and it makes a difference.
Who all did you see?
So shout out to Old School. Saw Jelly Roll was there. Oh, Jelly. I want to know this. I saw Jelly Roll rolling on, I think it was 13, so it's almost the back of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that's been to Augusta, that's a haul. Okay. Jelly Roll is not the smallest guy in the world.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
Brother, I imagine he did not like hitting back up to the clubhouse. I mean, it's steep.
Okay.
Like I can't describe to you.
I don't have any mental picture of this at all.
I can't describe to you how steep this thing is. And I was like, boy, he's going to struggle getting down there. I never understood that. It's why the people, if you go to, I mean, there's people that go to Augusta. I mean, they love it. I know, but like there's people that will make their way all the way down to the bottom of the property. That, brother, I'm worried about them walking to the kitchen, much less walking to the back of the property. But saw him, Jimmy Garoppolo, saw him.
Okay.
Saw my guy Chris Rump again from Clemson, saw him. I did not see Coach Luke. Matt was there with Ashley, but missed them because you didn't see him. Billy Napier was there, missed him. AJ saw him, I didn't see him.
Okay.
And then your favorite. This was my favorite. I know Bob's in here. He's going to die laughing. Very end of the tournament, okay? So we go up. We watched Rory and Bryson on the last hole, 18, right?
Yep.
So we're trying to get up to the green because it's on a hill, and so there's places you can stand and kind of see over everybody. Brother, it was so deep, you could not see the green. You could not see anybody on the green.
Right.
I mean, it was insane.
That's what it looked like on television, just humanity.
So we were literally trying to leave. We were just going to go, and we were just basically listening. And we saw that, he missed the putt to win it. And so we decided to say, the hell with it. Let's go. And so we went back down 10. And to tell you how crazy it was, 10 would be the second playoff hole. By the time we turned around and went there, 10 was already packed. Like people they were getting their spot for 10 just in case.
Yeah.
It went to a second playoff hole. So we go down there, and I think it was Bob said, hey, right here. So we shoot through like these woods between 10 and 18. And they were 10 off above us. And so we're sitting there, and by themselves, nobody with them, nothing. Brittany Griner.
Really?
I could have given you a million guesses. Brittany Griner just comes, stands up right next to old Bob.
How about that?
Very nice. I mean, like overly talking to everyone like a normal person instead of being like just standing there. Just very nice.
How about that?
Very nice. Won't tell you what they said when she left, but very nice.
That's a tease.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, no, that would have been one of my last guesses.
It would have been your last guess.
Would have been there.
And but we got to see them tee off, and this is like the coolest part of the whole weekend was so when people the hole's done with, they'll drop the ropes for good, and you can cross and get out, right?
Right.
So when they teed off on 18, there is a walk across right there below the tee box, and so you start to walk, but there's nobody there. We stood there right in the chute of 18, like where the famous, you're teeing off on 18, you feel like you're on the course. That was cool, and got to see them at their second shots, and then we bolted. But no, it was really good. And look, everything is perfect. That's the best way I can describe it. Everything in that place is perfect. Everything to the detail. I mean, everything is perfect. I put in the did a concession stand review. I told you that I did.
Yep.
I had to slip this in. I slipped this in the video for you. I said, I mean, if the country ran like Augusta National, we'd all be billionaires, and our borders would be really safe. I mean, they don't play.
There'd be no litter.
Be no litter, no litter. It's a great place. There's nothing. There's no trash on the ground. I mean, it's everything's perfect. So I will say, but if anybody tries to hype it up, if you're somebody that's like that goes for the first time and people are trying to hype it up, and you're worried about them overhyping it, it can't be overhyped. It's one of those things that no matter how you hype it up, it can't be overhyped. But all right, one other thing before we get to the actual tournament, this was my favorite part of the whole deal. Still confused on this. I'd like to follow up here with the whoever the police officers were escorting this man out. Sunday, Bob, don't start, Bob. I did not. So Sunday, we went in. I think it was like 10:20 in the morning. Okay. So we're getting there or whatever, and then the leaders didn't tee off till 2. So we get there at 10:20. It's 10:20 in the morning, and we're walking in the course. Okay. So people have gotten there at whatever time they get there.
Yep.
There is a dude, it was like a grown-ass man, like 55 years old. Okay.
Yep.
Can't walk, stumbling, drunk, being escorted out of the facility. And AJ said, God dang, like that guy can't walk. And I'm looking, and I thought somebody couldn't walk. No, this guy's, it's 10:20 in the morning. He can't, like I'm talking about 3 a.m., the worst drunk walk you've ever seen. Like he was doing the crooked walk, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Where he can't. Like
10:20 in the morning.
10:20 in the morning. And
at
so
Augusta National.
They were escorting him out.
Wow.
Now, here's that guy had a bad day.
He'll never come back.
Ever. He's on the ban.
Yeah.
They will ban you. You're banned for life.
Yeah.
And they take the badge away, and whoever's badge that is, like if it's a family's badge, gone forever.
Ooh.
Like you don't ever get a chance to get tickets ever again.
He had a bad day.
Bad day. 10:20 in the morning. Like at what point do you start drinking?
Well, to be that drunk
at 10:20,
I mean,
probably didn't go to sleep.
My guess was he started drinking the day before and just never stopped.
I mean, dude, I've never seen it like that. At 10:20 in the morning?
I don't know that if I tried to get that drunk, I could do it. I'm totally serious.
No.
I think my body has switch offs, and I think I'd switch off.
I mean, I'm probably have before, but golly, I just I wouldn't.
No,
I don't. I wouldn't want to get shit faced at something like that. That I want. That's that you want to experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the point of going there.
Yeah,
is to experience it. But I didn't know if you knew this. Rory McIlroy completes the Grand Slam.
I did. I saw that yesterday in my very limited viewing of the proceedings. I did see that.
Our group was probably the only group that was not cheering for Rory. It was a very pro-Rory crowd.
Sounded like it.
Extremely pro-Rory.
Who were you cheering for?
Bryson.
Okay.
That plus 1,800 win ticket that I had on him had nothing to do with it.
Of course.
Nothing to do with it. I did have a plus 1,800 on Bryson. He had a rough day yesterday. But I will say this. I got to witness something we talked about yesterday. No matter what happened, whatever you feel like you missed, I felt like I got to witness two of the most iconic golf shots in person. You know what I mean? And saw the shot in on 15. We were on the 15 green. But the one that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen a human being do with a golf ball, this guy on 7, right when we first picked him up, they had opened up the crosswalk of a hole, and he's coming up 7, and he hits one in the trees on the left. And so we were literally the first people when he comes over and goes and gets in front of his ball, and he starts talking to his caddy about he's in the trees and he's going to hook one up the fairway and try to land it in the bunker. And he starts looking up, and Neal, there is a pine tree. I mean, the thing's 20 feet in front of his face, like 80 feet in the air. And this guy gets an 8-iron, and TV can't do it justice because I saw the TV replay. I was like, he was 30 yards left of the green, and he hit the damn thing straight up in the air, cleared the freaking trees, and then landed it like right next to the damn hole. Like he had no chance. Like the guy, just the most miraculous thing. And so I say this to say that I wasn't pulling for Rory, but he earned it because he made in the shot on 15 that he hooked around the corner and it was the closest shot to the hole besides Corey Connors hit one tight, but it was the second closest shot I saw the hole in 2 days. And under that pressure, and he tried to give it. That's been his mojo is he gives them away, and he double bogeyed more than any. He tried to give it away, and I saw on replay. I saw the shot on 13 that was bad, but like he made the shots that counted. That shot and then like under the pressure. So you got to give it to him. And he missed some, but dude, those 2 iron shots on 15 and 7, I don't. I don't know how I mean, to see the ball curve that much and to land in a damn spot this big or it's gone. Like he literally had a spot like this big to land the golf ball in. And he did it from 200 something yards around a tree. So it's pretty impressive. So there you go.
Do you say data or data?
I say data.
Well,
No, excuse me. I say data.
Either way, for the longest time, I thought paying a fortune on my monthly data plan was just normal. That was until I found out about Mint Mobile and their premium wireless plans that start at just $15 a month. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest SG network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with all your existing accounts. Ditch overpriced wireless. Get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. No matter how you say it, don't overpay for it. Shop data plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5-gigabyte plan is required. It's equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Neal, you see the hat that I'm wearing today?
I do. It's lovely.
You know, anytime that you're on I could have used one last night. When you're going for a long trip, you need to stop by Kia of Meridian, where big savings are happening right now at Kia Meridian. You can get $10,000 in rebates and 0% financing on select vehicles. Plus, for a limited time, we're matching your down payment up to $2,500. That means more money for your car all month long. Don't wait. These deals won't last. Visit Kia of Meridian today. Kia of Meridian, where great deals drive home with you. Give them a call at area code 601-483-6444. And when you mention McCready and Siskey, guess what you get to do? You get to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like an Xbox, a PS5, a TV, and more. So check them out at Kia of Meridian. All right. I've been thinking about this damn next topic for a week.
Everybody's ready for it.
All right.
They're ready for you to weigh in.
All right. So
on Nico.
Let me give you a little context and background. So I'm going to go under this as
Iamaleava.
Do you like I put it in parentheses on the outline that you're going to have to pronounce the last name?
It's Nico Iamaleava. I think it's Iamaleava.
Okay.
It might be Iamaleava. Might be Iamaleava, but it's Malava is the end. I've mispronounced it for a long time.
It's hard. If you have a tough time with it, you know I have no chance.
I do have a tough time with it.
All right. So kind of here's where I'm at. I've debated how I wanted to talk about this. Got very fortunate that we only had one show last week. All right, so I'm just going to tell you kind of what I know, and I'm going to call it my understanding.
Okay. All right.
My understanding. Okay. This came to my attention last Monday after our show.
I will say this. I look back on something that Lane Kiffin said last Tuesday, and I'm like, oh, he was talking about that for a reason.
Yeah. I don't know for a fact.
I don't know that for a fact either, but kind of my guess, because he made the comment about the league. The league basically, I'm wildly paraphrasing, so I'm not quoting Lane at all. But he was essentially saying, to its credit, man, the league put this thing in place that you couldn't transfer in April inside the league and play.
Yes.
And he was like, we got one right. And the way he said it, I remember thinking to myself, that was interesting. He kind of offered that up out of the blue. That feels like he's talking about something. And then, I know what you're about to say. I just completely didn't think about it the rest of the week. And then this popped up, and I went, I wonder if that's kind of what he was kind of talking about. And my guess is, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be transparent with you guys as much as I can. There's some things I'll have to leave out, but I'll be as transparent as I can and kind of tell you it's my understanding, okay? And you'll just have to take it for what it's worth. All right, so this came to my attention Monday after the show, like 5 or 6 o'clock last Monday. I kind of took it as a nothing burger because I get these kind of calls, like if I could write down in a book how many guys have been, hey, they're leaving and they never leave. Okay. And I'm like, that ain't going to happen. I mean, I get that maybe it's a bargaining tool, whatever, right? I said, that ain't going to happen. It's kind of like nothing burger. And then Wednesday is when it got really weird for me, Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's because
got word that it was a little bit more serious than a nothing burger. Like I knew it was serious.
Meaning
like,
he was being shopped.
It was probably, well, I think he was being shopped before then.
Yeah.
I think he was being shopped, just for transparency. I think he was being shopped before I found out about it.
For transparency, I think he was being shopped in late December.
My understanding, not disagreeing with anything. I think some of this is going to be semantics. Like, I'll say this: some of the numbers that I've been seeing reported, I kind of call them semantics. I've gotten a different number that I feel like is reliable, but we're all in the same ballpark. It's not like we're way off.
Yeah,
there.
sure.
So the numbers are close.
You're talking about the salary demands?
On all numbers reported I've seen at that period of time were really close to what's being reported is really close to what I was told.
Okay.
So it's just semantics. It's not like we're talking about $500,000-$600,000 difference. It's $100,000.
Right. So I'm saying, but on the salary demands.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, on everything. So, so again, this is my understanding. Okay. This is my understanding of the deal. So in December/January, he renegotiated a deal. The holdout, threatened to hold out in the playoff part, I think I heard on your show this morning.
Josh Pate reported that this morning.
I personally have not heard that. Not saying he's wrong. I just haven't heard that.
Right.
I wasn't told that.
Yeah.
I do know that he renegotiated in that period of time, and that his new number was in line with market value at the time that deal was done. It was in line with the deals that were being done. Okay. Flash forward, since that time that deal's been done, there has been, at that position, guys get more money.
Who?
Carson Beck.
Okay. What's Beck?
Jackson Arnold.
What's Beck getting? I know I'm putting you on a weird spot, but here's where I am with this, and I'm to this point where I'm going to start, not you, but in general, I think it's time that we stop talking about numbers like they're nebulous, and let's talk about real numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the rumor on Beck is like around 4, right?
A little bit more than that.
Okay. Who was the other one you mentioned?
Jackson Arnold.
I think what I heard on him was around 2.5 to 3.
I was 2.3 what I heard.
Okay. So those are the people want to know what's the market.
Yeah.
And listen, I think it's a legitimate question. It's one of the reasons I've been pushing, but there's no way to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not sabotaging your story.
The Carson Beck deal, the reason it's tricky is there's a lot of like there's a lot of NIL involved in that, and then there is real money. He's actually got more than that in total compensation.
Yeah.
So that's why the number is trickiest.
Okay.
Around $9.75 million. So the markets changed, right? And so when that happened, I got wind of this last Wednesday. That's when it started getting weird, because I was like, this is going to happen. And then started getting questions about, hey, this SEC to SEC transfer. And I'm like, oh boy, it's getting real. Here's the deal. He's going into.
Did his people know the rule?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know. I will tell you, I'm one of the very few that will. I think I'm not scared to tell you I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that. I do know that his people, like his family, who has been kind of running his stuff, he hasn't had an agent, and so it's people around the family. But I will tell you this: expect him to go into the portal on Wednesday with a no contact. Okay. So when that's no contact, I believe the destination has already been determined where he's going.
Okay.
And it's really not hard to figure out, guys. He can't go SEC to SEC.
No.
Okay. So it's outside the SEC, who has money to spend on players, that doesn't have money invested in a quarterback. Brother, it's a small list of possible places.
I'm guessing UCLA.
UCLA will probably be one of the possibilities.
Okay.
I know where it is. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
I can't get into that. It's not my business.
I understand.
I'm kind of stay out of it, but I know where it's at. But here's the deal: is the market kind of
I
been
mean, Deion
reset?
Sanders has come out publicly and said it's not Colorado, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I will say that. But expect him to go in the portal Wednesday with a no contact. We talked about can't go SEC to SEC, which I agree in. All right, so here's the thing, and I want to say this: there's absolutely, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with a player in the current system that we're allowing them to participate in. There's nothing wrong with them taking advantage of the system and asking for more money if they don't feel like they're being properly compensated. To be fair to him, I think, but what he was making last year before the December, January thing, he did need a pay raise. Okay. Now, hear me out with this. And this is the point I'm going to make with this. When there is nothing wrong with a player getting compensated to market value, but there's a right way to do things. And the lack of professionalism with just not showing up to practice and not showing up to the game on Saturday, basically quitting.
Yep.
That's a problem. And whoever advised him to do that, that's bad business. That's terrible.
Of course.
Look, you don't 3 days later, okay? So the day he decided to wake up and not go to practice, he had 3 days because today he'll go get his paperwork today because he got 48-hour window, right? So he'll go get his paperwork today, turn it in on Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So he had 3 days to wait. And so for somebody to say like to go not to like quote unquote hold out is like this word that everybody's using that players are going to do this. Let me tell you something. And this is an early life advice brought to you by Cole Walters. If you're a player, if you're an agent, a player, or anybody involved with players, you have to see the big picture. Okay. The idea of holding out as a college player. Okay. If you just sit with me for a second, if I'm a college player and I got that kind of market value, if a college is willing to pay me millions of dollars to play college football, so I'm going to hold out, there's probably a really good shot that you're going to play in the NFL. Would you agree or disagree?
I mean, I would probably agree, yeah.
Most of them will have a great shot. If somebody's paying you $1 gazillion to play college football, there's probably a really good chance that you're probably going to get paid to play professional football. What you don't realize is by holding out, he did more damage to his brand when it comes to the NFL. We're so worried about 2025 and how much money that I can make. Get me mine, that we forget that he's a 3-year dude. Now, some people may not like Nico, whatever. The kid is freaking talented. He is a first-round talent, period. He is a first-round talent. Is he there yet? No. But the idea, whoever said, hey, I got this idea. We're going to go and we're going to jump in. We're going to not show up to practice and we're not going to show up. We're going to quit on our team 3 days. 3 days before you can legally go do it and not have any problems or any questions. Probably cost him millions of dollars. And somebody's like, oh, stop being hyperbolic. Let me bring you some facts here. 2024, the NFL is slotted in the draft. Okay? NFL slotted in the draft. What did you say? What number did you hear that Tennessee had agreed to pay him?
2.2.
That is very close.
Okay.
Okay? He's going to get probably double that to go to his next stop. Maybe a little bit more.
So he wins.
He loses. Do you think that his draft status will drop at least 2 spots off of this? Will somebody have a red flag to drop him 2 spots? If this cost him 2 slots in the draft,
I mean, I know what you're saying, and I'm wanting badly to agree with you, but the name that comes to mind is Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams quit on his team, went to USC, and was the first pick in the draft. Not like this, but I don't know if he plays like a first rounder, they're going to take him in the first round. It's a quarterback league. I have a completely different take from everybody else on this, and I wish I didn't because I sort of hate my take.
Why do you hate your take?
Because I don't want to be right, but I kind of fear I'm right.
What is it? You talking about
all of it,
fan interest, everything?
Everything. This didn't. The only way this hurts him is if he plays badly at his next stop.
All right, so hear me out. This
Okay,
is my point.
Right? If he plays badly at his next stop, it's an L.
So does anybody in his – let me ask you a question. It's your son, okay? It's Carson we're talking about.
Well, it's never happened. It's my son.
But let's just use something. I mean,
Okay.
you're a dad.
Sure.
You have common sense.
Yes.
Okay. Well, a lot of people don't have common sense.
Literally, my son months, to prove it, months before he had to make a decision, informed coaches of his decision.
Correct.
Because he didn't want them to waste their time recruiting him. This isn't about common sense. This isn't about common sense, Tyler.
Oh, hell no, I can tell you that. I agree.
This is about decency. This is about morals. This is about upbringing. This is about character. This is not about common sense. Common sense, sure, but this is about ethics. The people around him suck. Let's be clear. They gave him horrific advice, and he was dumb enough to take it. Now, that being said, when people go, he'll never recover from this, I'm like, he will if he's good.
No, he's talented. He's going to play in the NFL. You can write the shit down. He'll play in the NFL. But hear me out. He's coming in year 3, okay? And he got really, like, the guy had a good, I get, like, I saw the stuff on Twitter when I finally got my phone back. All the Tennessee fans doing the revisionist history. Well, he sucks. Get him out of here. All that stuff. I don't believe in that. The guy's was going to be your quarterback. He's an NFL talent. Okay. With all that being said, if you're worried about, you're going into year 3 as a quarterback with that kind of talent, who told you it was a good idea to change offenses, change coaches, and change schemes and not even have practice to go over with?
Because
it's going to kill his development.
Because it's not a legitimate agent doing this, right? This isn't damn Scott Boras or Jimmy Sexton. This is people who want a payday today.
Well, it's all family.
Of course. That's my point.
Yeah, it's just it's going to crush him from a development standpoint as far as that goes. Now, I think he's going to I think he's talented. Can he have a great year? Yeah, because he's so damn talented. It's just you hate to see, like, the questions are going to come up. Red flags are going to go up. He's going to cost himself in the NFL one way or the other.
Sure. I get that, but I'm saying if he goes to wherever he's going, and by the way, they think that you've told them the answer in the thread. So, if he's going to wherever you think he's going and he lights it up and he has a big year, and let's say Tennessee doesn't.
They're not right.
Okay. Let's say Tennessee has an average year, that they miss quarterback play. Okay?
Okay.
You know what the narrative's going to flip? Because this is the world that's kind of that's a Houston nut thing. Oh, my God. I was about to do the world we live in. I hate that expression. As opposed to the world that we don't live in.
Hey, you never know these days.
Well, you never know. It's true. But look, the narrative will flip immediately to, Tennessee should have paid him.
Well, you saw that at Ole Miss this year.
Of course.
The same thing happened at Ole Miss.
Of course.
They were get his ass out of here to like,
100%.
We missed him. If we had it, we'd have done this. Same thing happened at Ole Miss.
And it'll happen there too. So there's a world where he absolutely wins.
All right. So, and then this is the last thing I want to talk about it, then we'll get off of it. I'm tired of seeing this. I thought I was tired. I only had, when I wake up in my mood sometimes and I feel like just getting crazy. I thought about it today. RG3 goes on Twitter today. Robert Griffith III goes on Twitter today defending the move, saying if coaches can leave anytime, et cetera, players can leave too. I am so sick of people using that comparison because it's not the same. It's not the same. Hey, all you fucking, like, every time I see an expert that works on fucking ESPN or everything else. No, I got rain.
I know, but I don't want to have to keep putting the E on this.
Oh, did I keep doing that to you?
Yeah, I'm having to, and that's limiting our
our
distribution.
Money, right? All right, so every time that one of the gurus at ESPN or wherever goes up and goes, it's the same thing that coaches can leave. Why can't the players leave? Well, let me explain to you. It's not the same.
Coaches have contracts.
Coaches have contracts, and when they leave, guess what they got to do? They have to pay a buyout back.
That's been agreed to.
Right. That's actually enforceable by law.
And that sometimes prevents them from leaving.
A fake contract that's not enforceable by law, but that you don't have to pay anything out. It's not a contract. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're comparing this to is the McDonald's drive-through worker that quits on Friday and goes to Burger King and works on Saturday. That's what you're comparing it to. Stop comparing it to stuff you don't know about. Right. I didn't say shit. How about that?
You did good. No, but that's the problem with, and I don't know why. For some of those people, this is such a difficult concept. I truly don't. They're so hung up on player rights.
Oh,
and the players have all the rights.
Like, what right are you hung up on that they don't have?
I don't know. And listen, I mean, in terms of rights, he has every right to get in the portal in 2 days and go to a new place and play. He's going to do it. He has the right to do it. The only thing he can't do is the SEC enforced a rule amongst its membership that was basically like, children, we're going to do this. This is for your own good. We're putting this rule in place that says we're going to stay in these borders right here, because if we don't, I know how you all are. This will lead to chaos. And everybody in the room went, you're right. And they agreed to it, and I think they're all thankful they agreed to it.
Yeah,
because
it
otherwise
slows it down a little bit.
Otherwise, they would all be trying to poach each other's rosters right now, and it would just be chaos.
The only ones you got to worry about losing the right. I mean, you shouldn't have to worry about losing anybody, but
you're only losing people you want to lose.
Yeah. In this case, I know it's a little bit different, but
but
it's one of the very rare ones.
But coaches have contracts. Yeah. And there are coaches that
hell in the media, y'all, in like the TV reporters, they got non-competes. They can't just go.
I have a contract.
Yeah, everybody's got every single employee. But let's let the people that are making millions not have a contract.
I have a contract that essentially has a drop dead date on it, and it's basically a non-compete until then.
It's almost like that's how the world works.
I mean, so when people do this, I'm like, no, that's not it. But
it drives me nuts.
But here's my take real fast in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
I hear, and I like a lot of these people. I don't like all of them, but I really like Josh Pate.
Yeah, I like Josh. Josh is my guy.
And I heard him talking about this today, about how what's going to kill the sport is the lack of regulations and rules. You know what? I understand where he's going, and by principle, I agree with him. I don't think you can kill the sport. I don't think this thing's killable. You know why? Because this kid's going to land at another place. He's going to get his number or something close to it. Tennessee is going to go poach a quarterback from somewhere. I mean, there's already a rumor. They're going to poach a quarterback. They'll bring their guy in. Everyone will rally around that guy. He will go from people at Tennessee have never heard of him to the most popular player on the roster, like, done.
Quick.
He'll get a bunch of money. Neyland Stadium will be full. They've got someone to hate now. And ESPN and don't get me wrong, and Rivals and 247 and CBS and who am I leaving out? On 3, I don't want to leave anybody out. We're all going to write about this. It's going to get more and more attention. The ratings are going to be off the chart. And if we get a situation where, let's say, just for kicks and giggles, he goes someplace and does well and they make the playoff, this big storyline, we'll get a Tom Rinaldi special with the dad. We'll get the whole deal. Everyone's saying, oh, this is unsustainable. And I'm looking at it going, dude, this thing sustains itself. This thing it's like I don't even know what the analogy is. It doesn't even have to be fed. It just naturally finds food to consume. This thing, I'm telling you, is unkillable. Everyone's going to do the drama on this and all that stuff, and we're going to do all the social media stuff. Wherever he goes, he's going to land somewhere later this week, next week, and immediately everybody there at that place is going to be like, that's our guy.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be fine.
You know, I don't think I agree with you, I guess, mostly. When you say the sport not being killed and all that, I don't think the sport is going to be killed. Mm-hmm. I think the interest level is dying, is going over a long period of time because we're so new into it.
Yeah.
I think over a long period of time, I think it will decrease. I don't think there's any danger at all right now.
Yeah.
I think we're still.
Yeah, I used to think that.
But I think over a long period of time.
I know I'm not sure I think that anymore.
Because the product's not going to be as good. Because high quality people are going to get out of it. So
you mean coaches and such?
Coaches, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of high quality people that are really good at their job.
But you know what though, man?
And the player
like, along those lines,
but there's still no high school players coming in. Like we haven't reached the peak yet, which I've predicted, and this was my 10-year thing that I told them.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be we'll hit this peak in 2031. When I did my whole study and I tried to explain to them, we keep taking all these portal guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody wants an older team.
Well, guess what? You have to have a portal guy. You got to have high school players coming in. And when you cut that, every year we cut it down, and so the supply is not going to meet the demand.
But see what they will blame that on if that happens? They will blame that on something I've noticed already for years, and I've told you this.
Mm-hmm.
I think participation in high school football is decreasing.
It is.
And if it starts to decrease at a rapid number, they'll go, well, it had nothing to do with what we did to it.
And there's 75,000 kids trying to get 3,000 spots.
Right.
So we're not there yet.
No. You got to decline a lot more than that.
Yeah,
Right.
But there's just every year we're going less and less high school guys. And so if you don't have people replenishing even if you're just not signing them. So the number is going to go down. Anyway. All right, Neal, before we get to life advice, 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks out from Dega. Are you excited? You're getting there. Lie, Neal. Lie, Neal.
I have accepted my fate. Yes.
All right. Want to give a big shout out. I didn't brief you on this. Love to get you got the Comer Heating and Air called up on there. Good friend Eric and all the people at Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning. They're going to sponsor our trip to Dega this year, and they will be sponsoring all the shows live from Dega. And so can we give our good
Yeah. Bottom line is this. If you live in North Mississippi or Memphis, that area, you can get in touch with either Comer or Southern. Same great people, same great products, same great services, just different names. If you are in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, that area, get in touch with our friends at Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Memphis, South Haven, Horn Lake, DeSoto County, pretty much all that area, right? Olive Branch, if you live in those areas, Lewisburg, Hernando, if you live in those areas, get in touch with our friends at Southern. 662-429-4429. Now's the time to do it. Today's in the 80s. Newsflash.
Let's go.
We won't cap out at the 80s.
No, sir.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Not here.
We can debate the future of college football.
Can't debate the weather here.
And you can have different opinions. Let me tell you what you can't debate. What's going to happen in June and July and August and September in this part of the country. It's going to get hot. So now is the time to get your AC unit checked out because maybe you really haven't run it. Or maybe you've just run it a little bit. You hadn't stress tested. You hadn't put it through hell. You hadn't said, hey, it's 101 outside. Let's cool this bad boy to 68.
Let me tell you what.
So now's the time to get them out. Let them check it out. If you have a problem, now's the time to find out. What you don't want to do, trust me, I know, is discover on July the 4th that your upstairs air conditioner unit is just done. That's no fun.
No.
That is no fun. Find out on April the 14th that, hey, your unit has an issue. Let's take a look at it. They do a fantastic job there. No, I mean, I'm sitting in coolant right now from Comer.
Yep.
They're fantastic. Eric and the people there are wonderful. Yep. They're great customer service. They'll take care of you. But look, don't wait. If there's a chance in the world that this is the summer that your AC is going to go out,
go get them.
You need to know now.
Eric, last year after Alaska, because we in our barn, very similar to this room in our house, above the garage.
Yeah.
Couldn't in the summer it's 89 degrees in there. In the winter it's like 2 degrees. Eric came in there and one day fixed it. One day fixed. So big shout out.
You know, it's funny. I'm watching this debate. We're going to stop. This is the debate that I find so fascinating because I know that they're both right.
Who are we talking about?
Doors Rule says he and Grind and Hefty Lefty and others are having a conversation.
Okay.
Mark says I think the quality of play sucks because of lack of continuity.
It does.
Hefty says
Agree.
it's hard to have favorite players.
Agree.
Grind says we don't care about the product like that, like the NFL fans do, and I agree with that.
I agree with that.
I don't think college fans really care about quality of play.
Most college fans care about the brand more than they do the quality of play.
And then Brent says, there's a lot here, man. This is like a fast thing. We don't have time for it today, but he says this is like NASCAR 15 years ago.
All right, so perfect segue. Look at you teeing me up. So I was saying this before we get to life advice. Last thing I was going to say, we were about Talladega and Southern and Comer. And I'm a big NASCAR fan. You know that.
Yep.
Not telling anybody that knows me knows this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last night, so I was on the drive home. Probably shouldn't say this, but I am anyway. Had to stay awake. So they ran at Bristol yesterday. And so I turned the race on and listened to it on the way back.
Okay.
And I had it up, like I had it on my phone up.
Yep.
Okay. Wasn't my GPS. Yesterday was the first, like I've heard about it and I've kind of turned a blind eye to it about NASCAR being in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Bristol used to be, and when I say used to be, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, was the hardest ticket to get. Like you couldn't get a ticket. Sold out. And they played football games in there. Played Tennessee and Virginia Tech played in there.
Mm-hmm.
That race is one of the coolest races as a fan to go to.
Yeah. Tony Basilio was telling me about this, that years ago the tickets to Bristol were impossible. And he says now they have to it's hard for them to give them away.
Yeah, you can't give them away, right? And so, but as a NASCAR fan, yesterday, and I've saw signs like at Talladega, which I'll show you, but there used to be a huge grandstand on the back stretch. They just completely tore down. And so they were having trouble selling tickets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday at Bristol, 5 years ago, not an empty seat to be found and can't get a ticket. I bet it wasn't 20% full yesterday.
Really?
And the entire second deck was completely empty.
Really?
It was sad.
Wow.
I mean, like, you've already seen it on TV now. You remember how long ago was it? Everything was on like Fox, the real Fox on Sunday or NBC.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not long.
It's FS1 and it's FS2 and like it's been bumped down the lineup a little bit. And it's in serious trouble. I'll let you know. Talladega usually is still pretty good, so we'll know here in 2 weeks. But as a NASCAR fan, like you have to. It's and you see how the sponsors are now too. Like Dale Earnhardt Sr. was Goodwrench car for a gazillion years.
Sure.
Okay, and Jeff Gordon was DuPont.
Mm-hmm.
Every race.
Yeah, you recognize the brands.
Every race you go to now, your driver may be driving a different colored car because they don't do. There are very few teams I had to think of off the top of my head, but like Monster does cars, but there's very few companies that do full sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll have a 9-race deal with this team. They'll have a 9-race deal with this company, and so your driver's changing, colors of his car every week. It's just it's in trouble, man.
Austin, thank you for the super chat. He says, Tyler, the sport is a mess right now. The championship is a joke. Drivers are openly apathetic. It's still doing good ratings, but even those ratings are down over half. What would you do?
I don't know. I don't know I'm not familiar enough with.
Once it's broke, man, it's hard to put it back together.
I mean, they're doing everything they can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
I mean, I've said this before when I was a kid, and I know I'm old as hell, but in the whole scheme of life, it ain't that big of a period of time.
Right.
Not even when I was a kid, when I was in college. Boxing was big.
Oh.
Everyone knew the boxers. They were
great
those were
comparison.
Those were household names, man. Muhammad Ali, Michael
now UFC is more popular.
Michael Spinks, Kenny Norton, George Foreman.
But my man, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Thomas Hitman Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. I mean, those were people that no joke. Those were mainstream sports people. Yeah. Those were, I think they were bigger than McGregor. Even.
Agree.
They were big. And so just because you were once big does not mean you will always stay big. And Tommy Prater, good friend of both of ours, he will tell you, and I don't know if he's right or wrong. I don't know. I'm going to guess he's right because he knows racing intimately, and I don't. He will tell you that years ago, the mistake they made was focusing on that TV and not on this TV. that they should have focused more on the streaming and all of that stuff instead of the big TV deal.
I think it's if I had just my personal opinion on it, it's very similar. It's taken the same downfall that Major League Baseball has. And I think it's because of the time it takes to watch it.
Well, that's a thing that we all, with young people, we all sort of battle, right? Is we have to figure out how to get those eyeballs.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it.
Bannerman, thank you for the super chat.
That's old school. Bannerman. I think.
Appreciate that.
I think that's old school.
I think you're right.
Yep, that's old school. That's my guy.
Thank you, old school. Appreciate you.
All right, Neal, give me some life advice.
I'm about to. Real quick, I do want to tell you that we're brought to you by Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country right there in Broussard, Louisiana. Their simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer. They do it. They've got Ghost in the Machine, got Dr. Juice, got Envy, Cane Break, so much more. Wherever you look for your beer, grocery store, restaurant, bar, whatever the case may be, look for Parish Brewing Company. You will be super glad that you did. And listen, if you're like, hey, that's not the thing for me. It's not the thing for me. Okay. We're brought to you by Easy. Easy is a vitamin-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative. It's a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural. Made with real fruit. No added sugar. It's low-calorie, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare, control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. Did I say a bad word?
No, I had some good vitamins this weekend.
Oh, okay. It's easy. Visit their website, which I'll put in the thing here. It's easy, HEMPco.com, to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. It's Farm Bill compliant with vitamins that are derived from THC CBD extracts. It's for people 21 and older, and it is to be enjoyed responsibly.
That is correct.
Finally, it is time for life advice.
Hey, but let me hit these for you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to.
My fault.
I don't want to. I'll be old Debbie Downer here. Remember, everybody, we're brought to you by County Line Campers, the official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey. Spring has sprung, and so has the 2025 camping season. And County Line Campers in Gulfport is your place to make your getaway. Don't know how much your truck can tow? Check out our tow guide located on the website. So go to countylinecampers.com, or better yet, give us a call. We can show you the best camper options that will fit your needs. We have campers that can be towed by most SUVs. Are you looking to sell your current RV? We buy used RVs every week, and we offer the coast-only free consignment program. It's locally owned and operated. We pride ourselves on creating a customer experience that can't be duplicated. Remember, this week is Easter, so don't forget the true reason for Easter. When you think about camping, think about County Line Campers. Also brought to you by our good friends at Kia of Meridian. Big savings are happening right now at Kia of Meridian. You can get $10,000 in rebates and 0% on financing on select vehicles. Plus, for a limited time, we're matching your down payment up to $2,500. That means more car for your money all month long. Don't wait. These deals won't last. So make sure you visit Kia of Meridian and mention the McCready and Siskey podcast. And they're going to let you spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more. So give them a call, area code 601-483-6444.
Tupelo says no one watches NASCAR anymore because they don't play defense. They don't play defense anymore. It's true. That's the explanation for everything. They don't play defense.
Tupelo.
They don't play defense.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Sounds right.
Thanks to OxyFresh, MSAL. Appreciate you very much. He says Neal would love for y'all to have Taylor Zarzer on soon for his Masters recap. He did a great job with coverage on XM Radio all week. He's also the new voice of the Tennessee Titans. Yes, I have texted back and forth with Taylor, also with members of his family. The absolute excitement that I felt. It was really...
I coached his brother.
Which one, Grant?
Gaines.
Grant was
graduating when I got there.
I was so excited for Taylor, man. I mean, I may have talked about it on here before. I'm sorry. I was so fired up for him on that deal. I mean, I got like teary-eyed about it because I knew how much he how hard a job it is to get one. How hard it is to get one of those jobs.
Yeah.
And
he's such a good dude.
Oh,
Their whole family is
amazing
awesome.
people, man. I
Awesome.
mean,
That family was one of my favorite families that I got to meet or got to be involved with. And I coached his younger brother too.
Well, his parents are fantastic.
Just his dad passed.
Bob passed away.
Yeah.
I went to the funeral.
But they're just great people.
Great people.
They're awesome.
Great people. Bob was a big NFL fan and Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to believe that he looked down and saw this and was so just tickled for Taylor. I mean, Taylor starting in like high school put the work in to get to where he is in broadcast. I mean, that is, and yeah, and his interview with Rory after the Masters yesterday was, not only was it great, the one thing you could really tell is that Rory felt very comfortable talking to Taylor.
Yeah, he's been doing the PGA Tour live for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
All right, life advice presented by Cole Walters, State Farm Insurance. Cole is licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, and pet insurance for the whole entire state of Georgia, even Augusta. Contact Cole at 706 5 years.
No, how you say that? You say Augusta?
How is it?
Augusta.
Hey, man. I grew up in Ruston. You know,
that's where you get it from.
We just do the best we can.
I got you.
We just do the best we can. Contact Cole at 706-525-7850.
You may be right. I may be the one wrong.
You can also find I'm not sure. You can also find him online at colewaltersinsurance.com.
You may be the right one. I'm over here making fun of you.
Man, I grew up on Brookwood Drive in Ruston, baby, and you just do the best you can. You just do the best you can.
There's too many. It's like Lafayette, right? It's Lafayette and Lafayette. There's too many of them, and I get confused on which state calls which one which. Every state.
I know, isn't
one.
it crazy?
Like so, I get all.
So like in Louisiana,
because people take that shit personal now.
Yeah, in Louisiana it's Lafayette. Indiana it's West Lafayette.
Yep.
Here it's Lafayette, and if you say Lafayette, they yell at you.
You got Fayette, Alabama. And you got Lafayette.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
English, if you think about it, English would be a really.
They get pissed if you pronounce it wrong too.
English would be a difficult language to learn.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, if you didn't learn it just organically.
I mean, I'm walking proof. I've been here 47 years and still can't speak it.
All right, life advice. Let me see. There it is. I have a brother who has struggled with addiction his entire adult life. Whether it's alcohol or drugs, it doesn't matter. He's been in jail countless times. We've always bailed him out. My mom and myself have been through a lot. I can handle it, but my mom is 70-something years old, and I don't want her to constantly have to deal with this. He has 2 children. I'm not going to get into what gender and stuff because I don't want to identify. One is about 5 or 6 years older than the other. The mother is not in the picture for the same reasons. Their aunt, uncle, grandfather are raising them, with myself and my mom helping as much as possible. They somehow are both terrific kids, and saying they drew the short straw for parents is an understatement. My brother is back in jail again. I'm not angry about it. I'm pissed off. My mom, being a mother, wants to try and get him out. I'm ready to wash my hands of this. I can financially handle it. But he's in his 50s. He's not going to change. I've given him thousands over the years to not only get him out of jail, but to support him as well. I even paid his rent for a while without my wife's knowledge. Just so he wouldn't live with my mom when he got kicked out of his other place. I'll stop rambling, but I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Should I bail him out? Thanks. Keep up the great work.
Woo. You may completely disagree with me.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't discussed this ahead of time, so go ahead.
You may completely disagree with me.
I honestly don't know.
I think everybody makes mistakes. Everybody screws up. Some different screw ups than others.
Sure.
Here's kind of how I look at this is, for me personally, related or not related, it doesn't matter to me. once my trust is broken, I'm done. Once my trust is broken, I'm done. And even when my trust has been broken and I've forgiven and I've gone back and it gets broken again. So it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be a third time. So for me, it's somebody that's that age. The kid, and I want to say this: the kids had nothing to do with it.
Right.
So anyway, and I would treat that totally different. They had nothing to do with it. Help them anywhere you can.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to sometimes people, when it's family, they just turn their head to everything.
Yeah.
That turns in my opinion, this is where you may disagree with me. If you keep going back, that's what they expect, and you're actually enabling that person.
100%.
And so I think people have a very different, and it's not easy. Okay. I'm not sitting here and saying it's the easiest thing in America, but this hits home closer than you know.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's like once that trust is broken and then you forgive and you go back, it's a cycle that won't repeat, that just is on repeat. And particularly when you have drugs as a problem.
Yeah.
And when it's an older person that's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not changing that.
Right.
That's a behavior that will not change.
The only person that's going to change that is him.
Them.
Yeah.
And so you can't help people that don't want to be helped.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to say that again. You cannot say, it's the same thing in any relationship with anybody that you're trying to help do anything. If you're trying to help the homeless guy on the side of the road, whatever it is, when you try to help people that are in need of help, whether it's your relative or it's a stranger, nothing you are going to do is going to help them unless they want to help themselves.
Right.
Now, you can assist in it, but the number one factor, if they change or not, is going to be, have they decided that they're going to change? And so when people go into this repetitive behavior, okay, you're not changing. And you're talking about a long period of time. This is not something that happened last week and it's never had a pattern. No, this is repeat patterns. And so for me, I am
I think you're right to want to wash your hands of it.
Yeah.
It is human nature to defend family, to help family. At some point, though, and I think you nailed it. We actually completely agree. At some point, you're enabling. At some point, without meaning to do something bad, your heart's in the right place, but you're doing the wrong thing, and so you are.
That's a hard conversation too. Now, the hard conversation is when it's another family member that's trying to help, but you have to tell them that they're actually enabling them.
Yeah.
That's a hard conversation because again, it's unintentional. It's unintentional enabling.
It's a mother's nature to protect, right? To provide, to help. And at some point, it's on a much smaller scale. I've always said this, like with the kids. It is Laura's nature, my wife. It is her nature to protect.
Mm-hmm.
To, hey, are the kids up? Are they up? Are the boys up? Make sure they're up. Make sure this. Make sure that. And you have to. I always will say, no, it's okay if they fail. Now, you will learn from that failure.
That's the other thing is people
like
that's a trait and it's our generation's fault.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we helicopter and we like
you know my favorite meme that I see on every once in a while I'll see it is like to all you moms out there that ran the back roads drinking your Boone Farms and smoking your Marlboro Lights. How's that Life 360 doing for you? I mean, like we turned out all right. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
sure.
Like but you got to learn. You
sure.
And for me, is like that's my biggest fear. Just being completely honest, my biggest fear with my children, my biggest fear with my children is we don't make them work hard enough.
Yeah.
At like brother, I I was out mowing yards every day,
Yep.
cutting firewood, working at a grocery store, working in a
Mhm.
pharmacy. I mean, I had jobs, just plural.
Well, and I don't know why we do that. You know, I don't know why that's a thing that you're right. Our generation has done it because there's this thing that's gotten lost. Not with all young people, by the way, because a lot of them are.
Yeah, everybody, most people got their head on straight. We've been very blessed with our children and being good kids and all that stuff. But like, I'm talking about when real world hits, and you gotta learn how to work, and if you can communicate and outwork people, you're gonna be very successful.
Yeah.
If you can communicate and you can outwork people, you're gonna be successful.
But there's a value in work.
Yeah.
When I say that, I can still remember it. I can remember like a day, all the days, like in the summers when I would go pick peaches. That was never fun. There was never a day that in the middle of picking peaches in North Louisiana in July where I thought, God, this is awesome. There was never a day where I was like, I itch like hell and I'm hotter than hell. And I dread 5 o'clock. There was never that moment, right? But I do remember that feeling of climbing into my old beat up Ford Ford LTD. It's a white Ford LTD. I can remember hopping in that Ford LTD and driving home and taking a shower. And that was a sense of accomplishment from a hard day's work. And I think we've in an attempt to protect our kids, we've taken that away from them.
I agree.
So anyway, there's your life advice. Appreciate you sending that in. Don't forget, you can send that to us on social media, on Twitter at McCready and Siskey.
I think that was off of TikTok.
You can send it by TikTok. Both of our DMs are open. You can send it that way. However you want to.
McCready and Siskey DM is open on TikTok.
Okay. So however you want to send it to us, get it to us. We'll protect your identity, obviously, because we don't want to create more problems.
Well, can I wrap up something on this life advice real quick? Because I don't feel like I wrapped it up. Long story short is, I think it's natural to feel like you want, like that's the natural part. But my life advice would be that you have to communicate not only with yourself, but also your mother and your parents, and y'all. And that conversation needs to happen. That the enabling needs to stop, and then that it's time for that person to figure it out.
Got to get on the same page.
Yep.
We've been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push your limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you guys very much. We'll be back on Thursday with episode 274 of McCready and Siskey. Until then, take care.